Uh, okay. Okay. So good evening, everyone. I hope you guys are doing good. Um, I just wanted to, yeah, cover a few aspects because some of the students were not present yesterday. They missed out on the session. So yesterday we spoke about, okay, this one. We spoke about what a question document is, right? What is the scope of question document? What all cases do we receive in question document division, and what all questions do we get from the investigating officers in the forwarding letter, what handwriting is, and what are the standards that we take for the comparison purpose in handwriting comparison. So I'll just give a brief to few students who were not there yesterday. uh, we talked about what and in which section document is defined. So we've covered section 2 subsection D of BSA, and which says that document is any matter which is expressed or recorded on any substrate, on any substance intended for the purpose of recording that matter. So, for example, your Aadhaar card, it has your name, your date of birth, your father's name, your address. So, it is a kind of an identity card or an identity proof for you, and that's why the those particular credentials are being recorded. And then if somebody asks you to give your Aadhaar card so that they can check the identity, so they will take that number that they give, the Aadhaar number, and all the details are there. So that particular thing is a document. Any financial, administrative, official document is a document only under this section. But when the authorship, authenticity, content, origin, and other things are questioned or are disputed or suspected, then it becomes a questioned document. So, any document that potentially is disputed in the court of law becomes a question document. Talking about, I'm not going to cover this in very deep, but I'll just give you an overview. So if we talk about the scope, we are getting a lot of cases on handwriting signatures, whether the document is a photocopied or an original document, whether there are alterations, some editing is there is some addition, deletion that we are getting, indented writings, chart documents, sequence of strokes, whether this stroke was written first or the other one was written first. So that we are getting a lot in cases of forged checks and wills. And we are getting counterfeit currencies and passports, and other identity documents like Aadhaar, PAN card, driving license, and voters ID card. uh, Mark sheets also we are getting a lot, and then rubber stamp impressions and your seals also. We talked yesterday also about the seals that we use for sealing the evidence, that also sometimes becomes disputed, and that also we are getting in the division. And this I'll not cover up. Okay, so for comparison we need few standards, and standards are treated as your control samples or control handwriting or signature, on which there is no dispute, on which a person says that okay, yes, it belongs to me, and there is no dispute as such, these are my handwritings and these are my signatures. So they become your standards. And not just the handwriting and signature part, but the rubber stamps, the seals that we are talking about, for that also, for comparison of those question seal, we need some controlled seals or stamp impressions in for the examination. Right now, standards in handwriting examination in question document, standards are marked and labeled with the help of blue color pencil. So in case in future you guys are going to pick up a question document as your specialization, this blue color and red color pencil is going to be always with you in your pouch always. Like no matter where you are, this has to be in your pouch. So blue color pencil is to mark and label the standard document, and red color pencil is for marking and labeling your questioned handwriting or signatures. Now, talking about standards, we have two types of standards in question document examination. One is your admitted standards. Now, these are the handwritings or signatures. They are done in daily routine, in daily course of life, and there is no dispute as such. Like we said, that because there is no dispute, that's why they are considered as standard samples. So these writings are done in good faith. In good faith, I mean that there are no signs of deception. There is no intention of deceiving people, disguising, or anything. So they are devoid, they are naturally written specimen, uh, which the person executes in his routine life, right? And they are honest writing of a person. So there are few advantages pertaining to these standards, these admitted standards, because they are done in honesty. There is no sign of deception. So these are considered as natural writings, as faithful writings, right? And there is no signs of disguise and nervousness or stress or anything in such samples. Usually, I'm saying usually there are not, but because at times it's seen that a person may be suffering from some kind of physical or mental stress or some disease or disorder, so that gets difficult. At that time it gets difficult for us to consider these standards as honest writing or as natural writings. We'll talk about this in disadvantages, but that advantage is that uh, at that particular time when those documents are executed, a person, uh, it is believed that a person is writing in a natural condition. There are no signs of disguise, nervousness, or stress or anxiety at that particular point of time. And these can be selected as contemporaneous also. Now, some imagine a will is executed in 2010, and the bill has been disputed in 2025. So 15 years have gone by. Now the condition of the person has also changed. He has aged, maybe he has got some disease now, and maybe other things. So it gets easy to get the writing of that particular period uh, from admitted standards. So any document executed in plus minus 5 years of commission of the document. Suppose the document, like we said, the document was executed in 2010, the bill was executed in 2010. So any document from 2005 till 2010, and to 2010 till to 2015, any document can be considered as an admitted standard. So we take a 5 year window, and that, like, we usually try to collect admitted standards from this window only. So these are the advantages of admitted standards. Now talking about the disadvantages, sometimes it gets difficult, like who has written it. Like suppose I've got hold of your notebook. I usually give this example that I got hold of your notebook. Now there are pages in which your friend has also written, has also jotted down some notes for you. Now it gets difficult for a document examiner or for an investigating officers to understand which one is yours, right? Suppose you are not there, or maybe you have some disease now and you are not able to recollect things. A lot of conditions happen. So in those conditions it becomes very difficult to prove who has written these documents. So that's why usually we take bank documents, because it is executed by the person himself. He has only signed it, because whenever the monetary part comes in, the person has to sign it. And probably he has a nominee or something, that is a different thing, but a person who is there, who holds the primary account, he has to sign it. So that is taken up. Or some office documents that he is going every day, and he's signing the files for teachers, they are signing the practical files, or they are signing the answer sheets. So those are taken as admitted standards for such people, right? So the disadvantages, it can be difficult to prove who wrote it. Second is, like we talked, that prevailing condition at that particular time, in that year, may be different. Maybe you were going through a emotional phase at that time, right? Maybe you're so everything is reflected, your mood is also reflected in your handwriting. And like we discussed, that's how even graphologists are doing a great job these days. Earlier the people never used to take them seriously, but now they are getting mm, recognized also, because a lot of features can be identified through handwriting. But it is not our job, we are not graphologists, just making it clear, we are document examiner only. So we are not going to comment on the emotional aspect. But if we feel that there is some variation, or there is some changes, then we can also comment on it, that some variations are seen, maybe owing to some XYZ reason, we are not very sure of that, right? Uh, so third thing is that similar writing material. Now the document, the check, uh, we've got a check in which we have got the text as well as the numerals. So we may not get the similar writing material, similar writing instrument. Uh, Admitted standards may have been done with a pen, but the documents that we are getting may be done with a pencil or some other writing instrument. So it gets difficult to get hold of such admitted standards that copy the questioned conditions. So that is also one of the disadvantage. And the last part is that some of the combinations that we require for comparison may be missing from the admitted standards. So that this was about admitted standards. And second is specimen and requested standards. They are all done when admitted standards are either not sufficient, or when they are not in we have received, but they don't match the conditions of the question writing. So either they are not sufficient, or they are not enough for comparison, or they are not available only, right? So in such cases, we ask the victim or suspect to come and give their handwriting or signatures. This is usually done in presence of a magistrate, so there is no question of the uh, dispute on authorship. First, second, it is easy to prove who has written it, because it is done in front of a magistrate with along with the witnesses, so it gets easy to prove. And similar writing conditions, so similar type of paper, similar type of writing instrument can be provided, may should be provided rather, to the victim, or suspect, to the person of interest, right? And the third very important thing is that similar writing text can be given. So this we took very in a very detailed manner yesterday. Right now I don't have enough time to cover everything, but this is what we talked about yesterday. And today, like I discussed yesterday, that we are going to cover the characteristics. Now you've got the document, you've got the standards with you. The basic practice is that for us, what we do is we scan the document. We don't work on the original document, because the chances of it getting disturbed, it getting destroyed, is huge. So usually we keep things in almirah only, the main writing, the main document. We see it preliminary, we see it, and then once we've sorted the question writing, the admitted and everything, we keep it. Usually we most it depends from individual to individual. It is a very subjective field, everyone has a different way of working. but usually we don't really work on the original document. So we take up the we scan the document, and what we do is we make a you can write it down. You make a juxtaposition chart. Juxtaposition, JUX, juxta, TA, and position, POSITION, position chart. Now, what is juxtaposition chart? The name is huge, but it is nothing but it is a kind of a table wherein we put on the left side, we put question writings or question signature. Writing, I'm not saying that whole of the text is scanned and then cropped and put it in the table. No, we are only cropping the or the important combinations or the important words that we see are very individualistic or have variety of elements to compare with. So we are only putting in handwriting, I'm saying, in where we have a lot of paragraphs, so we are only putting few words that is to be compared. And on the right side we are putting all the standards signatures, be it admitted or be it requested. We are putting those signatures on the right side, and then we are making the analysis, or we are doing the analysis, we are making our opinion with the help of the juxtaposition chart. Now let's talk about the characteristics that we work on, the characteristic that we look for handwriting comparison. And for that I will uh, put this slide, right? So we have two types of characteristics. In forensic science, you must have also studied that there is a class evidence and there is an individual evidence also. So what is it? What is a class evidence or a class characteristic or an individual characteristic? What is it? What have you studied uh, in your classes, in your college, that I want to know? Because it is something very basic. What is a class characteristic and what is a individual characteristic? This you should know because some of you are master students also. I You should know this. And I'm expecting few answers. Otherwise, I'm not going to take this session. Yesterday also, I was not getting any answers. So no matter what you know, let it be a wrong answer. I will appreciate a wrong answer also. But it should be some answer. What is a class characteristic?
Ma'am, class means they are like common. Individual means unique characteristics that I know.
Good. Yeah, this is it. This is the answer. Anything, see, class characteristic. You guys are from, I don't know the class, like whether you are from masters or not. You guys are from the same uh, college, probably, if I'm not wrong. So that is a class characteristic. But some are from BSc, some are from MSc, some are from second semester, some are from third semester. So class characteristic is that a trait or a characteristic that is common among all of you, right? And individual characteristic is the features that gives identity to you, that you are a first semester student, you are somebody is a second semester student. Or let me give you another example. Now think of a there is a function, right? And you guys were given a dress for that function. So all of you have to wear a green color shirt. Okay. Now the class characteristic is green color shirt. Now, some of you might be wearing a 24 size t-shirt. Some of you might be wearing a 26. Some of you may have 6 buttons. Some of you may have 5 buttons. Some of you may have a torn sleeve. Some of you may not have. So these are your individualistic characters. So characteristics that are common to a class is your class characteristic. Common to a group is your class characteristic. And any feature, any idiosyncrasy, any individualistic character, any identifying character among this class is your individualistic character. I hope it is clear. Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So I'll give you another example. So all of, maybe we are using, look, okay, all of us may have, let's take it as an example. We all have an iPhone, like 15s, let's see. And whatever the new model is, I am not very sure. Like, let's imagine 15. Now, the class characteristic that we all have this model, but some may be using screen guard, some may not be using, some may be using a beautiful cover, pink color cover, red color cover. Now this is making you individualistic, and that is how you're going to identify that this one is mine, this is my phone, right? Unlocking is another thing, but just by seeing my mere physical features, you can identify your phone from distance only. So that is your individual characteristic. Now I have no other example. Let's move on to the characteristic. So in handwriting, the class characteristic, like we discussed, that these are the features that are common to a group, right? So because in handwriting, even regionally also, the copybook format, we discussed copybook format yesterday, that is also different, regional also. In script, various script also, it is different, like the English that US people write, or maybe the British people, the formation is slightly different. Because if you've read Osborne, there are a lot of writing styles, like letter writing styles, serif writing styles, and it has gone, like it has progressed and evolved over the years. Since it has started, over the years it has evolved a lot. So, and a lot of people employ different types of writing styles also. So class characteristics are uh, uh, the features that are common to a group, and maybe common to a regional ethnic group, right? So that also is there. Or probably people who are using a particular script, that will also become a class characteristic. Now I'll give you an example, because I am working on I'm myself doing some research on diseases, right? So there is a disease called Parkinson. Now, a lot of, in the research, what the researchers have found out, that the Parkinson disease patients are writing in a very small size. Like there is a presence of micrographia in their handwriting. So now this particular characteristic called micrographia, wherein the writers are writing in a very small size, very diminished, that you are not even able to see whether he is writing, a tall letter or a short letter. So micrographia is present. Now this becomes the class characteristic of that particular population of people, of patients with Parkinsonism. I hope this is clear, right? So class characteristic is this, right? Individual characteristics, like we said, that once we, as a writer, we deviate from some class characteristic, there is some idiosyncrasy, there is some deviation from the copybook format. Now I started writing A as, let me just a second. Okay, there is some issue with the camera. Otherwise, I would have opened the camera and showed it to you. So, if I have started writing A with some, with the way I had been taught, but I saw that, my friend is writing A in a different manner, or maybe she has, added some loop or some cusp in the beginning, and this is what is making her handwriting very beautiful. I should also imitate, or I should also take this up and imbibe in my writing. So that's when it becomes a deviation from the copybook format, and and a striking feature, and this gives identity, this gives individualistic character to your handwriting. So individual characteristics are deviation from the copybook format, either in the form or the formation of letters, And it these characteristics are the most important characteristics whenever you have to formulate an opinion. So once we start comparison, we start from class characteristics, this that we will cover later on, and then the opinion, the positive or the negative opinion that we rely on is through and via, these individual characteristics only. So uh, this was about class and individual. Now we'll begin with the first characteristic that comes under class characteristic, and that is movement. So, movement is basically your writing instrument, how it moves. Yesterday, I talked about that your hand has 27 bones and 40 muscles that are used for execution of handwriting. Now, how your hand is manipulating the writing instrument, what action you are using for executing your handwriting, that comes under movement. So movement is motion of writing instrument with your hand on the writing surface. So there are times when people are writing with finger movement. When we start writing, you seen how we hold our pencil and we are only using our fingers. We are not using our whole hand or our shoulder or wrist. It is just the fingers that we are using, and with the help of our parents, with the help of our teachers, we are strengthening our pincer grip, the grip that is required, the tripod grip that is required for holding the writing instrument. And that is how, with the help of our parents, we are learning the movement, we are learning the formation of these letters. So initially when a person starts writing, he or she is only using the finger movement. So and then as the skill develops, they keep on changing the movements, and this will cover it. So the writer may use finger, then coming a little further, wrist, then elbow, or the shoulder movement, whole of the arm is being used. Or maybe there are times that even combinations, some are using finger and wrist, some are using wrist and elbow also. So movement is how the writing instrument is moving along with the writing surface. I don't know, this is a very complicated thing, and usually um, we are it gets very difficult till the time it is not very obvious. It gets difficult to identify the movement. Finger and shoulder we can identify pretty easily, wrist also, but when it comes to the combination, it gets difficult for us to comment on the combinations. But rest of the features we can identify. uh, so uh, Next is, let's start with the finger movement. uh, I hope this is clear that movement of writing instrument on the writing surface is your, pen movement, and a writer may employ finger, wrist, elbow, or shoulder. These four, the action comes from these parts of the hand. So, if we talk about the finger movement writing, like I said, that initially when we are still learning the process of writing, we are employing finger movement. And finger movement writing, the writing is usually vertical writing. By vertical I means it is very straight, and it is not tilted on not towards the left or the right side. It is very straight and very detached. At that point of time, you remember when you are 4 years or 4 5 years of age, how you were writing: detached writing, vertical writing, and lack of smooth strokes, right? So in finger movement writing, when people are still learning the process of writing, or uh, an illiterate is learning to write, maybe at an initial stage of life, then they are employing whatever the writing movement that they have is finger movement, and they don't have regular connections. It is detached. They are not able to write in cursive manner. They are writing in detached writing only, in printed form. We say in printed form, right? There are a lot of pen lifts. The writer is not able to use the pen, or we say in QD, manipulate the pen in a smooth manner. So we see a lot of pen lifts also in such writing. In such writers, the writing is like that. So the features of finger movement is that you will see vertical writing, rough strokes, okay, detached writing. Fourth is a lot of pen lifts you will see, a lot of abruptions, pen pauses you will see in such writings. Next comes the wrist movement, where the motion comes primarily from the wrist, and the wrist rests in, on the surface, on the writing surface, it rests. So the action comes from the wrist only. Usually, people from down south, the script is like that, that they have to, because of the superiority also in skill in handwriting, is because of the fact that the script is very uh, tedious and curvy. So they have to employ this wrist movement, and they have to manipulate their wrist quite often. So mostly they are employing wrist movement. And if you talk about the features of wrist movement writing, it is unlike finger movement. It is an inclined writing. Maybe the slant is towards the left or the right. It is not detached, it is angular, and you will see smoothness. And as you go from finger to wrist, from wrist to elbow, the degree of freedom, the freedom with which a writer writes, will keep on increasing. So in wrist movement also, the freedom of moving the instrument on the writing surface increases. So you will have a superior quality of writing in wrist movement, right? And because you have a lot of freedom, and that's why you will have a faster, a good speed writing can be seen in wrist movement. Next comes your forearm movement. So in this, the arm of the writer rests on the writing surface, and the action comes from the below. As the name suggests, so whatever the name is, the action is coming through that particular part. So in this, the elbow is moving and the writer is writing. And in these, writings, the quality of writing is improving. Like I said, once you move up the movement from finger to wrist to elbow, the quality of writing, the speed of the writing, and the skill of the writing is going to improve. So the more the a person gets skilled, the movement also changes and it gets improved. So when we talk about the features of elbow movement writing, we see that we have a good quality of writing. It is rapid because degree of freedom is more, and you will see smooth strokes. You have a lot of freedom in terms of lateral movement, and the writing is smooth. Next comes your shoulder movement, which is your full arm movement. So you might have seen this whenever somebody is painting, whole of the arm is used, right? When the person paints, the whole of the arm is moving on the canvas. Or whenever you are doing backboard work, or whiteboard work, you are employing whole of the movement, right? Your action is coming from your shoulder, and in such, usually, mostly the writing is detached. So because it is parallel to the ground, there is not a lot of freedom for as such. And the size also increases, and the control over size either increases or decreases. Usually, at times, you might have seen that some of you, when you go and do the blackboard work, the size either increases or either decreases. So that is also there, but usually, um, so there is loss of control when you employ shoulder movement, but still, because of the degree of freedom, which is the greatest in shoulder movement, it is considered as whosoever is employing shoulder movement writing, they are superior skilled, and they produce faster writings. So this was about movement. In movement, we covered all the four types of movement: finger, wrist, elbow, and shoulder movement. So these are four movements, and then there are combinations also. Some, like we say, like we discussed, that sometimes finger, wrist is also employing, wrist and elbow is employing. So like that also you will see combinations, but usually we are commenting by seeing these features, we are commenting on the movement of the writer. Now, next is your pen pressure. What exactly do you understand by pen pressure? What is pen pressure? You read a question
A
document in
question
your.
document in your. Ma'am,
Hello?
it's a. Hello?
Yeah.
Ma'am, pen pressure is a how much stress on the paper, ma'am. When
Hmm.
we see the backside, it will be the present on the backside, ma'am.
Okay. Good.
Okay.
Great.
When we
I,
write it. I,
great. I got another
I
answer in
got
the.
another answer.
Uh, please mute yourself. Yeah, thank you. I got another answer in the chat box also, which is pressure applied. Mhm. What did I do? Where is the chat box? Okay. Pressure in. Okay. Rama Devi, the pressure applied by a person while writing. Absolutely. See, uh, the beauty of forensic science is there is either there is everything wrong or everything is right, and there is nothing in between, right? So whatever you are saying, at least you say it. Either it could go to the either of the ends of the spectrum, but at least say it, so that I also understand that I am just not blabbering things, and you are getting it, and I understand the understanding that you guys have at present. And if I have to go beyond my slides or beyond what I know and how much I know, I can go that like that also, right? I can at least modify my lecture accordingly. So exactly, pen pressure is the pressure or the average weight applied by the writer on the writing surface, by the writing instrument on the writing surface. Now, there is one suggestion: whenever you are talking about, like in question document, whenever you are answering, always use don't use pen, always use writing instrument. Don't use paper, always use writing surface. Because like we discussed, writing surface can be varied and writing instruments can be varied. So it's always better to give this answer, that yes, pressure applied by the person on the writing surface with the help of the writing instrument. Now this pressure is usually an unconscious pressure. Like every writer has a certain pressure that they apply through the writing instrument, and this is unconscious, this is not consciously done. At times, in frustration, we may use a lot of pressure, or when we are bored, we use the pen, we with lethargy or what. So that's when maybe our pressure may be less, and in frustration it may be more, but then it is a different aspect. We are talking about natural conditions. Pen pressure as such is an unconscious pressure applied, right? And it is only the you will only give opinion on pen pressure when the writing has been executed by a nib pen or a fountain pen. So what happens is, in fountain pen, when you apply, if you remember using a fountain pen, if you apply pressure, the nib gets split, and the ink deposition is either more or less depending on the how much pressure you are putting on the nib. So in roller pen, in ball pen, where the nib rolls, nib doesn't split, nib rolls in the ball pen. So it gets difficult for us to quantify the pressure as such and to comment on the pressure as such. But we can qualitatively tell, okay, this person has heavy pen pressure, light pen pressure, or medium pen pressure. Just by your understanding you can tell. But usually in our reports we are only talking about pen pressure when the execution is through the nib pen. I hope through the fountain pen. I hope this is uh, clear to you. If you are seeing that you are getting documents executed by ball pen, you will just say ki prima facie it is seen, yeah, on the basis of the preliminary examination, the pen pressure of the question document see is heavy or is medium, is less, only that much. But you will not comment very specifically and with full surety that it is that only, because as of now a lot of research is going on to quantify the pen pressure of the nib, ball pen also. But as such, in reports we are not giving for ballpoint pen. Okay, so next characteristic is your pen presentation, which in some of the books you will find as pen angle or pen hold. So pen presentation, pen angle, pen hold are the same thing. So what is pen presentation? It is the angle, it is the way you hold your writing instrument on the writing surface. The angle that your writing instrument makes to the writing surface, that is your pen presentation. Usually when we start learning, you must have seen that the pencil is straight, like it is perpendicular only to the writing surface. And as you get skilled, as you become mature, your penmanship becomes mature, you see that the angle also keeps on improving. Usually it is said that the writings produced with writing instrument kept at 45 degrees is your best writing. Anything beyond obtuse or perpendicular is not good writing. It's not considered a good writer or good penmanship. Usually the best writings are uh, done when the angle is now. It gets difficult, like don't go and check your angle that whether I am making 45 degrees or not. Now whatever you've skilled, it is going to be there for a very, like till the time you don't disappear. So it's but I'm just saying that the researchers, they have mentioned that 45 degrees is the best writing. So next is your 5S characteristic. Now in 5S characteristic, we have speed, skill, slant, shading, and spacing. These five characteristics are very important characteristics, and usually we comment on it and we can understand just by seeing the handwriting these five characteristics. So first is speed. So speed is the amount of time a person takes to complete a process or to execute a handwriting. And speed, now when the question document is maybe in past, if it has been executed, you were not there, so how are you going to comment on the speed? You were not witnessing the execution. How will you understand whether the writer has written in a very rapid speed or in a slow speed or in a medium speed? How are you going to comment on that? Tell me. What is your observation as of now? What do you understand? You might have seen very fast writers, or when you're you are taking notes, how your handwriting is, and what observation have you observed about your own handwriting when you are taking notes, or when somebody is dictating something, and there is a short time limit to it. What exactly have you seen in your own handwriting, or maybe in someone else's? When we are writing fast, what what do you see? A fast writer, I'm re
I'm
okay.
ma'am, space between the letters.
Spacing between the letters increases. Okay, yeah, this is one of the characteristic rest. So there you see the elongation of writing. Now let us all imagine how a doctor writes. Let's imagine the some prescription that you have seen. Usually, okay, I'll tell you. Usually, what happens is, in writers who write very fast, you will see very smooth strokes. Now, I have given three, in the image, there are three sentences. Speed can be important. Now, next one is speed can be important. The other one is also speed can be important, written by the same writer, but in varied speed. Now, what is the observation? What do you see in these three writings, and what are the changes that you are seeing? Okay, let it be. So, in fast writing, usually we see the presence of very smooth strokes, right? And you will also see that the letters are not formed very properly. You will see simplification of letters. Now you see that in ca and can, you are not even you are not able to identify that it is n. It is your mere understanding that you would assume that it is can only, but it could be anything. So you will see this is called simplification of letters, when the writer is not able to write the whole of the letter, or completely all the letters, or all the strokes that are required to execute that particular letter. So that is called simplification. So you will see simplification of letters, and you will see that the I dots, that the diacritics and the punctuation marks are also just placed haphazardly. It is not on the I, it is on the left of the I. So usually in fast writings, these things are neglected. The person is only focused on taking the notes or on completion of the writing, and that's why he's writing fast. Or maybe in your, in your exams, the time limit is, you are crossing the time limits, and you feel that you'll not be able to complete your paper. So that's when you start writing very rapid, and that's when you don't care about these diacritics mark, these I dots, j dots, f bar, j bars. You are not concerned about these things at that point of time. So these things are reflective of a person's writing ability. So a person who is a fast writer will have smooth writing, smooth strokes, carelessly placed diacritics, okay, very tapered strokes. Tapered mean very thin strokes. Maybe the initial stroke, or the the terminal strokes will be very thin, and the connection will be either, I have written that there will be proper connection, but sometimes there can be, because in such a hurry, that the connection may also be disrupted. So in fast writing, these are the characteristics. But when you are writing slowly, when you have all the time in the world, you will focus like very carefully. You will focus on the formation of letters, on the placement of I dots, on the placement of j dots, all the marks, the t crossing, uh, J dots and all of that, right? So these are very important features of how you are going to identify. In slow writing, you will not see tapered strokes. You will see very blunt strokes. It You will see that a person is writing with all his efforts. It will be a laborious writing. All This I've covered, that the T bars will be carefully placed, I dots will be rounded, because he has time now. Instead of a dot, he can make a circle. So he has all the time in the world right now, and that's why the execution will be proper. But the if you talk about the skill of the writer, is if mostly the slow writers are less skilled, because skill is directly proportional to your speed. So the more the speed, the more the skilled a writer is. So these are the features of slow writing. And today you just do this practical at your place, or whenever you time permits. You Whatever your writing speed is, you go a little slow from that writing speed, then your natural speed, and then take it a little higher, go rapid, and see, observe what all changes can you see. And if you are getting more observation, please bring it tomorrow and we will discuss those observation also. It is always better that you do such experiments at home. See, we can teach you all we want, whatever we have learned in 10, 20, 20, 15 years of our journey, but till the time you don't do it, things will always, they will not register in your brain. You are not going to register this, and this you are not going to employ in your future. So it's always better, whatever is being taught, you do it on your own at home. And you don't need any instrument for this. This is mere observation, right? So you do this and tomorrow show it to me, that you have actually done it, and these are your observations. Next is this I will take till skill, and then tomorrow we'll uh, resume from slant and slope. So skill, like we discussed, that skill, it is the expertise or your ability to do something. You may be skilled at something else. So skill is basically, if you define skill as a word, it is the ability to do something. And in writing, like I said, that if you go if we talk about movement, if we talk about speed, if you go higher the movement, higher the speed, higher the skill. So skill is directly proportional to speed and directly proportional to movement also. Okay, so this, you become skilled because you keep on repeating things, you keep on writing till that. And it is considered that once a person reaches 14 15 years of age, he has attained mature penmanship. So after that, it gets, you may change few elements, but then it gets difficult to change the class characteristics of your handwriting. uh, so once you attain maturity, your handwriting is also matured by then. And skill can be categorized as uh, poor, normal, or medium, and superior and good. So higher skill, because we have covered speed and movement, it is going to reflect in skill also. uh, in a higher skilled writing, it will be rhythmic, it will be artistic, it will be smooth, right? And it will be pleasing to eyes. When we talk about low skill, low speed, laborious, not rhythmic, right? So this was about skill. Speed we have already covered, and this particular line, higher the movement. Always remember this line: higher the movement, higher the skill, and higher the speed. And with this, I am going to end the session. Tomorrow, when we meet, I want at least, if not all, I would really appreciate if all of you bring your own observation or your own register. Please bring and show me the examples of skill, speed, and movement. You see, you write with your fingers, and then write with your wrist, and then employ your elbow and then shoulders. Four writings for this, only four, maybe one sentence, 4 word sentence, that's it, nothing else. You will be able to see the difference in just one sentence. So don't, please, if you can do it, I'm requesting you, I'm saying please, because and it's for your own good, not, it's not going to give me anything, but I am requesting you as a teacher, if you can, and as a student, if you can do that much for me. Skill, speed, and movement. 4 variations in movement, 3 in speed, and automatically skill can be apprehended. Sorry, not apprehended, can be comprehended, right? So for examples of this, I want in a register, and what your observation is. Tomorrow, let's not keep it such monotonous, and I don't want to be stuck with monotony. Let's please make this a little interactive. Otherwise, it can go really boring. I can not make it very fascinating. So please, till the time you don't interact, it's not going to bring any good. Anyway, it was good talking to you all. Uh, Thank you. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye bye.
Thank you.